Thank you, Madam Speaker, and it is a good amendment. Please vote yes. We're going to speak a lot through the course of our discussion of this flawed underlying policy about the difference between concealed carry and open carry of firearms. The argument is made sometimes that open carry, which is allowed in this state, a constitutional right in this state, can sometimes be used to intimidate. And whether that argument holds or doesn't, that is an argument. But this is a separate matter. What this amendment does is it clarifies in the underlying bill that the right to concealed carry, which in its nature is not meant to intimidate, should be protected, should be maintained. And we feel strongly that it should be. There's a distinction there, Madam Speaker. Concealed carry, whether it's in an ankle holster, whether it's under a jacket, whether it's in a purse or handbag, is inherently defensive. The purpose of concealed carrying is to protect oneself, one's family, one's property, and according to our state constitution, the state itself. What we're protecting here in this amendment is that defensive use of a firearm. Surely, Madam Speaker, this is an understandable, logical, and internally consistent approach to the use of firearms. Please vote yes on this amendment. It's for people's protection. Thank you. Thank you, Madam Speaker. This is another good amendment. Please vote yes. Madam Speaker, I think particular to this amendment, we need to look at this in a larger context. I think we'll understand the importance of this amendment and the reason to vote for it. Across this session and the last, Madam Speaker, we have, as a body, generally lessened the penalties for committing felonies and gross misdemeanors. And this underlying bill creates a new gross misdemeanor for carrying a weapon into a number of enumerated locations. It in this particularly is targeted, the language of this, that this amendment seeks to remedy, the language of the bill is particularly targeted at concealed pistol license holders, that they would lose their ability to have the concealed pistol license and they couldn't apply for one for another 3 years. Madam Speaker, we need to vote yes on this amendment because we need to get rid of that language from this portion of the statute, and in my opinion, from all portions of the statute, because it creates this impression, Madam Speaker, that the state is going easier on felons and committers of gross misdemeanors while ramping up the punishment against concealed pistol license holders who are by definition law-abiding citizens. Why are we exposing law-abiding citizens to greater punishment while lessening the punishment for true felons and gross misdemeanor committers? It's the wrong way to look at public policy, Madam Speaker. It's the wrong way to look.
If the good gentleman does not, please do not impugn members and focus on the policy. Please proceed.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. It's the wrong way for us to look at public policy. And in this particular case, this policy addressed by the amendment, we need to not punish law-abiding citizens. Please vote yes on the amendment. Thank you, Madam Speaker. This is indeed a bad bill. Please vote no. It's a bad bill for a number of reasons. It's a sort of Frankenstein's monster that's been slashed together from a couple of other bills that results in some structural issues with it, some language issues. But, Madam Speaker, the real reason is that it's a bad bill is that it is unconstitutional. We've heard a lot in our debate over this bill about fear and confusion. Well, the great confusion in this bill, Madam Speaker, is that it confuses feelings for constitutional rights. Yes, people may feel fear, people may feel intimidation. But those feelings of fear and an intimidation are not the equivalent of the constitutional right described in the Washington State Constitution, that every individual has a right to keep and bear arms in defense of himself or herself and of the state. And I think that language is important, Madam Speaker, the end of the state part. You know, one of the externalities, the good things that's produced by people who can keep and bear arms is a general public safety. One of the great things we say is that we like the way we have concealed pistol licenses, allow concealed carry in this state, and we want half the population to concealed carry. And people who would commit violent acts or be nefarious don't know which half is carrying. That's deterrence. That's a public good, Madam Speaker. And this flawed bill would limit, would restrict that public good. And finally, Madam Speaker, please consider that a lawful person, concealed carry, keeping and bearing arms, is public safety, not only for herself, but for the people around her, her children, her family, her property, and all of us, Madam Speaker. She's public safety for me and for you. We need to keep this public safety. We need to keep this personal safety. We need to not restrict it, Madam Speaker, in an effort to assuage fear.
Good member, you have 15 seconds if you can conclude.
Don't be fearful, Madam Speaker. Be proud of your constitutional rights, defend them, and vote no on this bad bill.